Welcome to that spiritual, actual, factual answers to questions you're asking. You find them inside you, recite you, reciting the records. Akashic, we laughing, we drafting the passion to vary. It's time for that comedy, dramedy, all of the fanciest, catchiest acronyms. Listeners, listen, we traveling. Consciousness is always unraveling. The reading you're having is mapping you back to your natural habitat. Abracadabra, it's magicless, passing it. To top it off, the host, all the classiest. Now, what were you asking for? All of the answers? What? All the answers.
Hi, Cassidy Brown.
All right, we're in. Hey.
I feel like I could tell you 600 things. We have 15 minutes, though.
All right, until our guest joins us. All right.
Yeah.
We'll do the quick and dirties. I have just a couple of things and I actually have a question for you about like what you can, how your powers extend.
Go ahead.
Okay. So here's, I'm embarrassed a little bit about this story because I made a stupid mistake, and it's a PayPal mistake.
Oh.
So the short version, my car died and I had to get it salvaged, and that's fine. That's all handled. That was part of the whole like, oh my God, I can't believe how many times things go wrong and then right again, wrong and then right again. And I'm really enjoying this sort of reframing of Mercury retrograde.
Oh, good.
That idea of like, no, it just means you got to pay more attention and get way more into the weeds with shit.
Nice.
But it'll still probably be okay as long as you. That's how I kind of understood what we were saying last time.
Well,
somewhat.
I don't know if okay is the thing, but carry on.
Yeah. Rather than like everything will break and nothing will work, which is the sort of short version. But you made it more complex last time.
Well, that's because of what you're experiencing.
Okay.
At Mercury retrograde across the board is often everything will break and nothing will work.
Okay.
But you are going through a thing where I think because of your spiritual alignment, and it could also be astrological. It could be you have like favorable transits right now. There could be a million reasons.
Right.
But you're going through a thing where it breaks and then fixes and breaks and then fixes.
Okay.
That's what your current retrograde looks like for you.
Got it. I think I misunderstood that a little bit. I thought that was more of a way, or maybe that's saying like, that is a way that Mercury retrograde can operate.
I would say that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's just not all bleakness and forget about it, but like pay fucking attention. And I didn't pay attention and I fucked up, and I was getting a new car from my godparents. So.
Oh, you went that way.
Yeah, I went with that vehicle and I went to send him a chunk of money, not the whole purchase price, just I'm not even going to say how much, but not a small amount of money. And he has a name that's not very common. So I
see where this is going.
Yeah, I said, and usually the app will like pop up is this the guy you mean? Like with an email address.
Yeah, enter the 4 digits of the phone number.
And it wasn't popping that up. And so I hit send thinking it would pop up after I hit send. Nope. It's just like, great, you sent it. It's gone.
I've been there. Mm-hmm.
It's gone. Cannot find this person. This person doesn't exist. So I called PayPal thinking, well, this happens all the time because it happened way too easily. So old people are going to do this all the time.
Yeah.
Nope. They're like, well, we'll ask that person to refund your money, but we can't do anything beyond that. So they reach out to the guy. They haven't heard back. So I'm like, wait, no, you need to give me that money because it's your bad app that did this, not me. I'm not stupid. Sorry, we can't. Anyway, I think it's going to be fine. My next step is to like go to my bank, and my bank has to do a chargeback, and like it's this whole process.
I've done it. I've been there many times with this.
Oh, good. I'll talk to you about that offline about how to get that done if I need to.
We can talk now too if you want.
Well, so I was like, also, let's assume best intentions. This guy's going to get a message both from me and from PayPal.
Unless he's dead or not on PayPal.
Right? What if he is? They said that he has an active account.
Okay.
So
that's good.
And they're like, give it 24 hours. Stop freaking out, sir.
Right.
Because I was getting a little irate with them. Like, how are you telling me that that's the only option? That's insane.
Yeah.
And they're like, yeah, well, you did it wrong. I was like, shouldn't have been able to.
Well.
Yeah. I mean, I did. I screwed up, and I'm embarrassed at how stupid it was. Anyway, does Katie have the ability to just reach out into the ether and nudge? You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
It's in the same way that you like control weather sometimes. Can you be like, hey, buddy, do the right thing. Hey, friend. Can you
to that guy.
Yeah. Can you massage him somewhere in the ether
That's fun.
that says, do the right thing. Make this happen.
Okay.
Is that insane?
No,
Is that a misuse of power?
it could be, or it could not be. It all
Right.
depends.
Okay.
So this is a great question because it leads to a really good, like, general thing for people to understand about this kind of thing. The shortest way to talk about it is like when you work with somebody else's energy field and you have integrity, because a lot of people don't.
Yeah.
Which I have stories about that are pretty interesting, actually. Anyway, I guess I would say it like this. Black magic would be where you go like, I'm going to do something to your energy field without asking whether you like it or not. And I'm going to do what I fucking want to do. And I'm going to get out of it what I want to get out of it.
Right.
That's like manipulating time and space. And there are certainly people who do that. The karma on that shit is fucking heavy and dark.
I can imagine.
And for me, it would be like immediate. The ceiling would like collapse of this room. And I'd be like, well, I'm dead now. Okay, so there's that. But on the other hand, when you go through training of this kind of thing, they say always get permission first from the actual human being. Other people teach you always you can ask permission of the soul. So since I have this ability to go in the records of whoever, we could go in this dude's records and I could ask his soul, hey, can we talk to you about this money thing? And then wait. And his being might be like, nah, bitch. In which case I'd be like, okay, peace, bye. Because I don't want anything to do with people that are like, nah, bitch.
Yeah.
Because that means there's some darkness there and I'm busy. No thanks. Or he might go, sure, on the soul level. And then I might go, hey, so this accident happened. It's really not meant for you, this money. Do you mind like kind of like waking up to this and sending it back?
Mm-hmm.
We can do that as long as it's in the form of questions and as long as we're both open to nah, bitch being the
Sure.
response. Now, here's the gray area I want to name. We're noticing.
I don't know why this makes me laugh, but it's kind of funny.
It is funny. The gray area is I haven't asked the personality ego of this dude. I'm going to be talking to his soul.
Right. And that's a gray area of like talking to someone's soul without their permission.
Well, it depends on who you talk to teaching wise. Like some people have taught me like, hey man, if the soul agrees, like we're not here to serve the ego anyway. We're here to serve the light and the soul. You're good.
Could it be like the metaphor of like knocking on someone's door? You're saying, can I come in? And if they say, no, you can't come in, you're like, all right, I guess I'm not coming in.
Yeah, but that's not what I'm talking about right now. What I'm talking about right this second is the gray area is like, because he's not here as a personality ego to say no, I'm sort of bypassing his personality and ego as if it doesn't matter.
Right.
And I'm going, all that matters is your soul. Well, that's my perspective. My perspective is all that matters is your soul. I don't give a shit about your personality. Although I do, like if we're friends, I'm going to honor,
Right.
Whatever, if we have a relationship. But like with this chump, I don't know this clown. I don't care about his ego. I care about like what's in the highest.
Right.
And the highest comes through the soul perspective. But again, that's me through my lens choosing what I want to do with this guy's soul and bypassing his personality. So some teachers will say, that's rude. Don't do it. There's a little weird karma in there too. It's smaller karma, but it's not the best. Personally, because I'm a little morally loose.
And a little pushier.
I'm a little give no fucksy. I'm fine to go chat with his soul and see what it says.
All right.
But if there's any indication of nah, we're going to back out.
Sure. That makes sense.
But yeah, sure. Why not? Because the other piece is for people to hear this. By the way, when I say I'm a little don't give a fuck, boundaryless, whatever, I mean on things like this where nobody's being harmed.
Right.
And we're not trying to steal this man's money. Like that would be a thing I would never, ever be okay with. Let me be clear as a bell for everybody listening to this for the rest of time. But if we're trying to help our friend here and it doesn't take anything away from you or him on any, there's no harm
Right.
done
And you're not
here.
like engaging in mind control where you're
No.
like doing a push or a shove where.
It would be more the equivalent of he's in his life and all of a sudden he's like walking his dog and all of a sudden he's like, let me just check my PayPal for no reason. Wow, where's all this money from? Oh my God, that's not for me. Send it back. He would just suddenly have an awareness of like, Look at my PayPal. And that's the extent of it. So that's why for me, when I say I'm loose about it, it's because I'm evaluating, is there any harm done on any level to any people involved? No? Okay, then fuck it. You know what I mean? Yeah. Okay, great. So you know what we could do? When Marcus, our guest, is here, we could do a little combo blend. We'll hop into that guy's records. We'll bleep his name. Then we'll hop into Marcus's records.
It'll be a little side quest.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea.
Great. Katie, you've got about 7 minutes to tell me all your stories.
I mean, all right. Thing number one, I need to get back to California to see my man. I need to. And I need to do that for him for the sake of building trust for him. He needs to see me making some sacrifices and showing up, because that's where we are karmically. It's correct. There's no guilt. He's not asking for it. I'm just I know that is the case. I'm still terrified to get on a fucking plane.
That's what I was going to say. What's up with the planes?
Particularly from this far away. So I've been on a desperate hunt to find a nonstop flight, and they're very hard to find from here.
From Jacksonville. Is there trains? Do you guys have trains?
Orlando, Jacksonville, Atlanta. I've been looking at all the airports. Is there any direct flights? And there was one, but it went away because, they got sold out.
And it was $7,000.
It actually wasn't. It just was a price that until my next payment comes in, I can't pay for. So I was I can't buy it right now. And so I lost it. It went away. So in a fun turn of events, and this is a good thing for people to hear about too, energy wise and spirituality wise, is that certain things will only be healed the way they will be healed. I always try to say in a humility practice with this work is for what it's for, and it's for when it's for. It's not for everyone for every problem. It's if this is the work you need, this is the work you need. In the same way that if you need acupuncture, you need acupuncture. If you need cancer treatment with chemo, you need cancer treatment with chemo. If you need a massage, you need a massage. Okay, so for whatever reason, the only thing that I'm getting traction on this with is working with Yvonne with the Mintakans.
Okay.
Okay, and we may have talked about this briefly because when I was in Albuquerque most recently, she did some work with me through them, or they did some work with me through her. It was very palpable, and a big chunk of it moved. And now we're both can we do more? Can we do more? And they keep getting, no, not yet, not yet. And I'm bitch, I got to buy fucking tickets. When I say bitch, I'm talking to the Mintakans. So anyway, I'm just happy to wait and just be at their mercy and the mercy of the timing of the universe, which feels scary, sad, and hard because I can feel I don't know. I feel I really need to go put my time in.
Yeah.
I need to show up.
I can see that gesture of saying, yeah, I can, even though I was just there, I can totally come for you specific, which, even doing that once early on at this moment would be a very valuable attachment thing to do, to assuage. I can totally understand that.
Particularly because, and this is the part that is scary for me to say out loud, I'm just this is the homie.
Uh-oh. Not uh-oh. I just mean wow, yeah. This might be actually the real thing. I mean, you keep returning to home base.
The things that have happened since that one big mom healing where we cleared the nugget of that I keep describing as being a peach pit or a date nut that was made of metal from my heart. And then it took 3 months to integrate. And then I went to California. It just literally changed everything. And all of a sudden I'm oh my God, this has been sitting in front of me the whole time. Where the fuck was I? And the answer was, and this again is useful for the listener. The answer was, this is how profound trauma is. This is how deep these things go. People talk about how do I receive love? Well, if you have anything in your heart that blocks you from receiving love in the form of unprocessed anger, resentment, fear, trauma, some sexual abuse, anything in your heart that is unprocessed could be absolutely stopping you from being able to receive any number of things: money, love, sleep, fulfillment, joy, pleasure, laughter, connection, relationships, everything you're looking for. And I'm just really flabbergasted by, I've done so much fucking clearing. And, it's clients always say to me, how long am I going to have to be doing this? Like, when's the day? And I'm always like so positive about it. I'm always like, it's going to be great. Don't worry. Just keep one day at a time. Keep clearing. And I'm like, I'm the living example of how it works. And I have faith. So you have faith, But when I look at like how painful it was to move that piece, like that session was incredibly physically painful that I had with my therapist and doing the work on it. And then it's taken me 3 months to integrate. I mean, this was a very uncomfortable piece of energy that was like a huge part of who I thought I was.
Yeah.
Just living like a peach pit in my heart. I didn't know there was a peach pit in my heart. I just knew I believe this and I don't believe that. And I want this and I don't want that. You take the peach pit out, all of a sudden what I want is entirely different. What I believe is entirely different. I'm entirely different. And so I could see this person. See is the wrong word. I can energetically receive this person. I experience him so differently. Anyway, it's hard to talk about because all my friends who were with me during the time, yourself included, it's like I went through so much with him and had such a hard time and tried so hard. And
yeah, it's hard definitely to perceive because I was aware of where you were saying like no in that relationship and where it wasn't working and where the why it stopped when it stopped was very clear. It was like, no, God, no, don't. So, and of course, I only have that story.
Yeah.
And then, so I'm not having the inner experience of the removal of the peach pit. So, yeah, I have to now be able to see it through Katie's new eyes or trust Katie.
It's hard.
As opposed to, because that's super interesting because that's something that should I say? No, I'm just trying to decide. A friend of mine has been sharing about her relationship with her sister and other people like that who oh God, this has gone wrong. And I'm really angry at my partner and and just unloading onto her about how awful everything is. And then forgiving him. But my friend's not allowed to be part of that forgiveness narrative. So now they have this story about this other person, the partner.
When you say not allowed to be, why?
Because they weren't
there for the forgiving.
They weren't there for the forgiveness. They only received the anger.
Yeah. I have a question.
They only received the spill out.
Yeah, I get you. So what do you remember was the good reason for me to say no?
You guys were, I just feel like you were, I don't know if fighting is the right word, but there was just so much constant struggle to.
This was the first time, right? The big first time. Not during COVID.
Probably the first time. I can't remember how it looked during COVID, to be honest. I'm kind of blending the two, to be honest.
Yeah.
I don't recall the differences, but I just remember that there was just, like anger and resentment. I don't know if necessarily anger, but there was just so much struggle.
Yeah.
To just allow each other to love each other.
Yeah.
There was, I'm not getting something from you and you're not getting something from me. And I refuse to give that to you.
Yeah.
Because it's an unreasonable demand.
Right.
From both directions. I feel like you were telling me like both sides were just like, but I need you to be like this. Well, I can't be like that. Mm-hmm. I can't remember the specifics of what that is, but I just remember that the struggle was so like painfully intense.
It's true.
And that was the narrative I was given.
It's true.
So then you're like, oh my God, I love him again is like interesting to hear. Because I'm like, okay, but you loved him again last time too.
I know.
Yeah. But I also very much trust what you're telling me.
I appreciate that.
About the new framing within yourself.
I don't. I appreciate you. I'm saying it because it's what I'm experiencing in this extended moment of now, this past month or whatever it's been. And he's more, well, let's go real fucking slow and I'm going to be pretty guarded for quite some time because you're the one who leaves. And I'm like, yep, you should be that guarded. But my point is like, that's part of why I'm like, I gotta go there so I can be around him and be like, oh, I'm just in fantasy. And this is a nice little fantasy I concocted that like this time it can work versus no, it's different because I'm different. Let's go.
Yeah.
Which is how it feels to me now. But I got to find out. I got to go there to find out.
Yeah.
That being said, I need to take my own advice and then we will let our guest in. I have to take my own advice and move slowly. Like if the money isn't there and the flight isn't right and the timing doesn't work, like don't push, don't make, squeeze in a flight real fast and go spend all the money. You got to wait until the timing is right.
Yeah. There's that always that fine balance is you do want to do it for him to show to him that you care, but you also don't want to do it for him. You need to, because that's guilt, or that's like, how do you do it without it being motivated through pleasing, or proving? There you go. It can't be from proving.
Yeah. I don't have any of that going on. That's not my thing. I just don't have that going on. But
good.
What I do have going on is this need in my own heart to May 14th. I'm just looking also at when retrograde ends. It ends on the 14th of May, which is in like 4 or 5 days. Yeah, that's part of the tickets and the money, I'm sure. Anyway, yeah, it's not proving to him for sure. I'm so eager to experience him from this place inside me, this new thing that I'm like, let's do it. Let's go. What is this like?
Yeah.
And I want to give him that. He deserves that. There's no proving in that. There's like a love in it. There's like a you here. And I can't fucking do it by text.
No.
So anyway, that's happening. The other thing we'll talk about maybe later when Marcus comes on right now, auditions. Exciting.
Yeah. I want to hear about that.
Let's let him in. This is going to be an interesting one, by the way.
Okay.
I'm excited.
I'll interview him. Okay. Because I don't know him. Let me draw out some of who he is.
Okay.
Yeah. Are you scared of that?
Why?
I don't know.
Okay.
Because you already know him. I don't know if he's there. Actually, he's there in his car. Hopefully he's parked.
He looks parked. His audio is kicking in slowly.
Say words.
Hey.
There you go.
There you are.
Yo.
I was like, what's happening? Yeah.
Oh dear. You sound...
Doesn't sound good.
Terrible. I can't understand what you're saying. Say some more words, Marcus.
Words. Shit. All right.
I mean, we can hear you, but it just sounds like...
It's very broken up.
It's a little cavernous.
All right. Is this better or worse?
Oh, way better. That sounds great.
Oh, okay. Sweet.
All right. Welcome.
This is Marcus Crespo. He's a stand-up comedian and does some improv and lives in Jacksonville, Florida, and tours all over telling jokes to people and is a dear friend of mine. And here he fucking is in his car. What's up?
Not much. I just came back from the gym with my sister.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah.
And your sister's visiting from out of town, right?
Yeah. She lives in Washington, D.C. She's in the Coast Guard.
Oh, wow. I forget that. That's cool.
She's a little badass. Pretty cool.
What does she do for the Coast Guard?
She's a drug enforcement agent.
Jesus Christ.
I met someone else like that once. I think we got to check because we all think of Coast Guard as being like military junior, right?
Yeah.
Or just sort of like a soft, oh, it's cute. It's the Coast Guard. But everybody I've met who is involved with the Coast Guard, they do like force recon, shipboarding.
Yeah.
Rappel in, attack a drug ship. So it's actually pretty hardcore.
Yeah, that's actually what she did. She when she joined the Coast Guard, they actually updated their boot camp to where it like moved up in toughness as far as like the branches of the military. And so she's like, "Oh, I joined when it got tougher. What the hell,
I was going to junior military. Damn it."
Yeah.
That's wild.
She was I think one of her cutters was involved in taking out one of El Chapo's drug shipments years and years ago when she was stationed in Miami. Yeah.
What's a cutter?
A cutter is just the small Coast Guard vessel.
Oh.
It's very fast. It's a smaller boat. It's very fast, and it's used to take down like speedboats and stuff that are running cocaine and stuff like that.
Here's a question, fully unrelated and probably that you don't have an answer to. You know when people float across from Cuba to Miami in like a raft?
Yeah.
That's like, so I'm born and raised in Miami, right? And there was, every Cuban family, everybody's a Cuban or a Jew in Miami. Not really, but a lot.
Yeah.
And so all my Cuban friends, everybody had at least one or two stories in their family of, yeah, my uncle came across on a tire. My uncle came across on a paddleboard. Like people just fucking get in the fucking ocean and go. And if the Coast Guard finds you on a unicorn raft, just paddling to Miami, what do they have to do? Do they have to return you to Cuba?
Now I'm not sure. They changed the policies. The reason why so many Cubans were doing that was under communist regime. It was like when they landed here, they became citizens. It was like amnesty. So only Cubans had that. Only Cubans had that. So like for the longest time, that they were just like, get to America. As soon as you touch ground, you're welcome. And it's usually only that way with like countries that are in distress or something like that. And Cuba was one of them. Now I think it's changed because so many have come over, and there's like there's I don't know. It's definitely changed. It's not that way anymore. But it used to be as soon as they touch ground. That's why they were floating around on tires and fucking water jugs and stuff. Yeah, she was telling me like to this day they still do it. Like she well, not anymore. She's not stationed there, but when she was, there was like families on like a trash can with tires surrounding it, and that was their vessel.
Yeah, because it's like what? It's like 50 miles or something. It's not an insurmountable amount of distance.
Yeah, I think on a good clear day in Key West of the southernmost point, you could see Cuba.
Huh.
Like from that point. Yeah.
That's cool.
That's wild.
It makes me think of how like Spain's relationship to Morocco, because when you're in Cadiz, which is the like southernmost tip of Spain, you just like wipe your glasses a little and you're like, there's Morocco, and you can take a little ferry over there. It's like that.
Right. It's a different continent, but it's the same. Yeah.
Okay, so all right. Usually when people come on, Marcus, the first thing I ask them is like, if I say the word spirituality to you, what does that mean to you? But in this case, I'm just like, I feel like I need to give I want to give a little context to the listener and to Cassidy about, before I even ask you that question, I'm going to put out my own framing of some things I know about you and in relation to me. And then I'm going to stop talking and I'm going to say, now, what would you say in the answer to what does spirituality mean to you? Because you're a unique being. So I'm going to say some things, but then I'm going to stop talking and give you all the space in the world to say what you want to say. Is that okay with you?
Yeah.
Okay. So what's relevant here is what I feel like saying for the audience is Marcus and I have a very unique connection and a strange dynamic in the sense that when we met, I think the fairest way to say this would be to say, I basically bullied him into becoming more spiritual. I was basically like, bitch, I feel it on you. You're connected to the light. Wake the fuck up. This means this. This is what's happening. Stop being like this emotionally. Don't be a fucking child. Tell me the truth. Be vulnerable, you asshole. Oh, and you're carrying a lot of love and you know God, and I'm going to do healings at you and you're going to deal with it. Like more aggressive than I ever let myself be at this point in my life with just like a friend, that just like a dude I'm friends with, just like forcing you to like wake up to truth and consciousness. And I always say this to Marcus privately when we're talking. I'll be like, you understand, I don't talk to anyone in my life like this. I'm not like beating people up spiritually. Like, shut your fucking pie hole. Don't be a child. Tell the truth. Be vulnerable. Know God. But with you, I just like smack you around all the fucking time. And it's so weird to me because it's a thing I'm really like committed to not doing. I don't do that. So A, there's that. B, I would say, and you have to tell us in a second if this is a fair estimation, because I'm just telling you through my perspective, right? I would say like I've watched you open a bit more to certain things that you, I would say, have always had access to probably your whole life, but were in a lot more resistance and judgment to. But because of the weird synchronicities between you and me and some of the magic things that have occurred between you and me, and some of the bullying I've done to you, you've been like, you know what? I'm kind of opening to this because it's been with me my whole life, the stuff with your grandmother, all kinds of shit, right? And now I would say through my lens, which you'll correct me on if I'm wrong, now you're like, well, this shit is real, I think. Oh, fuck. That's my estimation of what's been happening here with you, your relationship to spirituality vis-a-vis my loud, pushy ass. Have I spoken correctly or have I been incorrect? Now you say words.
Yeah, no, I mean, I was dogmatic religious growing up. and I was very open to that. And then I pulled away because of different reasons and stuff. So I closed myself off spiritually in a lot of regards, but I not fully, because I always felt there's something beyond what this is, what world that we live in currently, this reality. But I was always very closed off because I was like, I attributed spirituality to organized religion, and I was really against organized religion.
Very common. Very common.
Yeah. Especially in the South, man. It's everything's God and guns, dude. Yeah. So yeah. So I then you kind of presented it in a way that didn't feel like I had to join a cult. Didn't feel like I had to, and I don't know. It just opened me up in a way that I already knew was there, but I don't know, different light. But yeah. I wouldn't say bullied. I would say tough love.
Okay, good. That's good. If it didn't feel like the channels were open for that, I wouldn't have done it. But I can't explain it. And this brings me to a thing I really want to talk about with you, why I'm very excited to have you here today. A, because I love you and I want you here. But B, because of this thing. Marcus and I have a thing where we have like large amounts of karmic synchronistic shit between us. Like, I think, Marcus, you'll be better at remembering them because you're more of a remember stuff person. But like things where it's like he'd be sitting he'd like helped me move into my condo, or was helping. I don't remember. Yeah, you helped me move in, like lifting heavy shit and making things happen. And we're sitting there, and I think maybe it was that day, maybe it was a different day, but you were like, wait, this condo is on Bertha Street? And then like Bertha was a significant, what was it again? Your car? What was it?
The car I'm currently, I name all my family has historically named all of our cars Bertha. It's like a very, like the car I'm in right now is Bertha 4 for me. And so, yeah, and like, no fucking way. And that has occurred so many times where like, we're watching something and they're like, oh man, I was just talking to my friend about this today. And the numbers, the numerical connections, the 1111s.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wasn't it 218 is a thing? I mean, it's a thing for me. Was it a thing for you? Is that one of them?
Well, I know we were talking about like birthdays. So if you calculate 218, it's 11. My birthday is 38, it's 11.
Right.
And we had a lot of 11. Like we would like message each other, and it would be like 11 every time we sent it. At one point, shit like that. It was to the point where it's like it's happening so often. There's what's happening,
Yeah, totally. Like there were a number of times where I'd see 1111 on my phone and be texting Marcus like, hey, it's 11. And before I finish the sentence, he's texting me, hey, it's 1111. Like, and then like, I'd say like, hey, what's up? And he'd be like, I was literally texting you.
Yeah.
But there's more. I can't think of them right now. Why do you remember more?
Yeah. As soon as you bring it up, then you like just total brain fog.
I remember the Bertha one. I can't think of it. Now this is annoying because I'm like, I want to tell the story. But anyway, so I guess I thought, and you have to tell me, I guess I thought that or at least the words you were saying to me at the time made me think that because all the synchronicity was happening all the time, the fact of that was opening you back up to some, like, I can't ignore cosmic things because all this synchronicity is happening. Is that true?
Yeah. I mean, there was there was a couple times where I randomly think of you and then you would text me. That was another thing that occurred. I would think about something that we had to do, and then next thing you know, that would pop up on a feed. And I understand the algorithm stuff, but it happens so often. I'm like, all right, the algorithm, I don't know. Because I wasn't talking about it. It's just, like, I know they got the listening bots that will listen, and they're like, here, advertise this.
Yeah, but the listening bots can't hear your thoughts yet.
No, not yet. Yeah, not yet. Skynet hasn't won completely yet.
And then there was the thing with, I've talked with you about changing the weather, and then your grandmother had something with changing the weather.
Oh man, I forgot. Oh my God. Yeah, now you're bringing. Yeah, I forgot about some of these conversations we haven't had in a while. Yeah, she would. My grandma was very intuitive in that sense, like where if she felt sad, it would be like overcast, or she was happy, it would always. I don't know, and I didn't know what that meant, and I just always thought it was coincidence. But it happened so often that you're like, well, coincidence is one thing, but this is occurring at such a frequency that I feel like there's something there, and I'm not exactly sure. That's pretty much my whole experience with spirituality is I don't have the answers. I don't have the tools to really figure shit out. So everything is just coincidental or not.
Okay. And does that seem true to you still, given what's happened between you and I?
No, I'm a little bit more perceptive to. I mean, I'm still very new to getting back into this world of spirituality and believing anything like this. So I'm less likely to be like, oh, this is pure coincidence. And I would just dismiss it really quickly.
Yeah.
And now I'm more open to kind of like leaning into what's going on here, you know?
Yeah. I don't know. You're downplaying it a lot right now, or when we've talked privately, you've been upplaying it more than is true for you. When you and I talk privately, you say things to me that are like, holy shit, I used to think coincidence, it was just coincidence. Now I can't ignore it. It's so real. It's everywhere. But right now you're like, yeah, I mean, kinda. I mean, it's kinda everywhere, maybe kinda. And I'm like, okay, well, which one is true, motherfucker?
No, it's I don't know.
It's true. She is a bully. She's really a bully. It's true.
Yeah, I just want to live my life. No, you're right. I'm probably downplaying it a little bit. Not probably. I am probably down. God damn it. I don't know if maybe it's the podcast. It's like
Well, it's more public forum, so we gotta
yeah.
But we have a very transparent, honest, vulnerable podcast. So we don't do like pretending, showing a mask. We do like, what's the truth here? You can tell me the truth. In other words, I'm interested in the truth, capital T. What's true for you? Not what I bully you into, not what you think you should say. I actually want to understand truthfully your relationship to consciousness and spirituality at this point. And if it hasn't changed because of me, you get to tell me that. I'm telling you my perception.
I mean, as far as truth and your involvement, you've definitely been a huge catalyst in where I was with spirituality and everything in that realm to where I'm at now. It's vastly different to where it doesn't feel like conditioning. Before my experience with spirituality before was like, well, I'm going to church because my family goes to church, and now it's like I feel this because I feel this and I believe this and I believe there's more than just this, and I see things differently. I view things differently. My relationship dynamic with people close to me are different because I see beyond just what is like if they're upset. I was a creature of emotions. So I'm like upset and upset. Now I try to get to why are they upset? What's going on? What's going on deeper? I'm a little more understanding. I'm not as reactionary as I used to be. I used to be very reactionary to a fault, and I'm seeing myself like changing in that way, and I feel for better. And I attribute that to my understanding of spirituality, my understanding of humans, my understanding of human connection, and a lot of that was from conversations that I had with you, understanding people, understanding people's past and how it affects people currently, even if it's not directly related, like how people's past can affect their decision to eat tacos at night sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. So
yeah. Okay, thank you. I was like trying to find the Marcus I know, because you were not saying the things that I know are true for you, and now you are. So thank you I know it's odd to come on a podcast and be incredibly truthful and vulnerable, but unfortunately that's what we're up to here. So
that's what we demand.
This is definitely the most vulnerable I've ever gotten on it. Usually the podcast is me talking about my dick and farts and so
we like to swing to both of those extremes.
We definitely talk about dick farts, but also vulnerable dick farts.
Yeah, this is called all the answers: dick farts and truth.
That's our subcategory. I have a question for you, Marcus, and this is relevant to both ends of that spectrum. For you, you're a stand-up comedian, so I assume you're a stand-up comedian, yes?
Yeah, I'm a stand-up comedian. Yeah, I've been doing it for a while.
So you're probably always like generating and writing material, I assume, or adding new material. Can you perceive content-wise any, like in the time that you've been in this slight shift or major shift with Katie and with your life, opening up to different ideas or opening up to, can you perceive a shift in your comedy or in what you're creating, in your creativity?
Oh, definitely.
Has it showed up differently? And do you have any examples of that?
I don't know. I don't know. Like, well, Katie's only seen me a couple times from the shows that like we were involved. I'm involved with that she produces. But I'm at like Mike's all the time, and I'm now more. I'm leaning more into wanting to be a little bit more vulnerable, talk about things that would normally make me uncomfortable talking about on stage. Not fully. I'm not like I'm not crying on stage or anything, but there's topics that I'll probably get there eventually. I've definitely had a meltdown or two in the past, but like that wasn't part of the act. Also, being a little more understanding when people disrupt a show, try to get to the root. Like, are they heckler or are they just drunk and are having a good time? Like, before I was just like, oh, heckler's gotta die. Like, it was like that weird mentality. Baby steps, but I definitely want to get more vulnerable, and I'm taking steps to get there.
You know that nobody's expecting you to cry in your stand-up comedy show, right?
That might be a step too far, but also amazing. What if there was a comedian who is known for occasionally just fully tearing up?
Yeah. I think it would catch a lot of people off guard. I'm generally known for being very affable and bubbly. So it would throw a lot of people off. They're like, wow, Crespo's he's really spilling his soul.
He's really went somewhere tonight.
Man, that dick joke triggered him real hard.
He was really vulnerable about that fart. That fart like really came from his soul.
Oh my God, I've never seen a man tear up about queefs.
You haven't hung out with me.
So the one other thing I want to say out loud is, it's so common for human beings to conflate spirituality with religion that since you mentioned that, I think we can come back to that topic. It's something we've addressed many times on this podcast, but I could put words around the difference between spirituality and religion, but I'm curious, with your recent awakenings or expansions or awarenesses, how would you frame what is the difference between spirituality and religion?
Oh, it's so funny. I kind of had this conversation not too long ago with another person. The way I see spirituality is, so I believe universe, source, the divine is the power source, and everybody and everything are just little outlets that are connected to devices. We're all different roles. Like this person is a cell phone and this person is a computer, and they have their role, but they're all connected to the universal source of power.
Love that.
So that's my interpretation. And then religion is people trying to interpret that for everyone that follows that particular religion in their own words.
Yeah.
Which is, I have a problem with complete human interpretation of it instead of personal. Now, I've always, even when I was in church, I always felt like your belief is what you personally believe, not what Pastor John or whatever is saying,
Yeah.
So I my thing is like spirituality is your personal actual connection with the thing, and religion is just, some interpretation to make people understand it a little better, I guess.
That's great. Yeah. 100%. One thing I'll say just to add to that for the listener and just for our continued conversation on this podcast is that the books, they're called like the prophetic lineages, Judaism and Christianity and the Muslim faith and all of it. They were meant to be articulations of concepts that helped human beings know love more intimately. It was meant to connect us to love. But human beings in the beginning of our development as a race, as a consciousness, as an animal, we needed to believe it came from on high. So these prophets showed up to give information that humans would then write down and create books about so that we would all have tools to get back to love. But of course, it all got commodified and turned into mechanisms of control because that's what the ego does. How do I make money on this? How do I control the population and become the powerful one, right? So the thing is, when you look at the books closely, all of them, they all say the same shit. It's all the same. And they all also have complicated misinterpretations built into them. So they're flawed. They're flawed texts, right? But they're revered as perfection and perfect texts and the word of God and whatever. So we're biblical literalists getting, whatever. So just a reminder for everyone listening. It's like, I've read the Quran and I've read huge chunks of the Bible. And I've studied all this shit intimately. And it's all of it was just meant, I like to say this regularly for human beings to hear, that it was meant to get you to warmth, openness, connection, and love. Even the idea of worship okay, which people get so into fucking worship as like the capital W answer to all the whatever the fuck. Worship is there to soften your heart so you can receive love more. It's the whole fucking point. That's what the books all say. But it gets turned into like worship because then you're a good Christian. Worship because then you're a good Muslim. And then if you're good, you deserve love. That is not what the divine said when it was here in the form of these prophets. The divine said, you are love. You are loved, and you are love. So if you do these practices and these worship techniques, you're going to feel that more for you because I love you.
Yeah.
Not because then you'll be good and it's the right thing to do and you have to prove your love. There are things humans have to do to get connected to the love or to the pipeline of love. Like you're saying, if it's a source, right? Spirit is a source or consciousness, whatever, is the power source. And I'm over here away from the power source, trying to feel the power source, right? Like I don't feel God's love, or I don't feel mercy for myself, or I don't know how to do self-compassion. How do you get connected to the source of love? Well, that would be the purpose of a spiritual path, like meditating every day or doing what's called remembrance in the Sufi practice, where you say the name of God into your heart 100 million times, or kirtan in the Indian lineage, the Hindu traditions, or whatever the practices are that are taught in whichever religious framework you fucking choose. They're all designed to soften the heart so we can receive more love directly from the power source and feel it right away. Feel it directly as an individual, not through a priest, not through an intermediary, through your own fucking heart, because we're all designed to be able to connect to the power source with total ease. The problem is human beings commodified and powerized and made hierarchies around the practices that get you there, which is so fucked up and makes me so fucking mad. And it's why I'm a spiritual fucking bully, because people need to hear it. They need to fucking hear it. That you can just, the practices are for you. They're not because you're good if you do them and you're bad if you don't. Judgment is not God's trade. God is love. Love doesn't judge. It literally can't judge. It doesn't judge. Now, you as a human animal, and I'm just preaching for a minute, I'll get off the soapbox in a second, but all of us as human animals, okay, we are the ones who suffer when we don't be connected to the power source. We're the only ones suffering. God's like, that's cool. I'm just love over here. If you want to suffer less, do these things and then you'll be connected to me. Oh, would you like to suffer more? Okay, I'll just be here loving you. You won't feel my love because you're busy suffering. That's okay. I love you. God's like a fucking golden retriever. He's like, pet me and brush my fur with this brush I'm going to hand you.
Title of your next book. God's a fucking golden retriever.
Pet me and brush me, and I will lick your face. Oh, you don't want to pet me or brush me? That's fine. I love you. I'll be on the couch. You watch TV. I'm over here panting weirdly and loving you. And people think all this dogma and the literalism of the Bible is going to get them to loving themselves. They don't even know that what they're looking for is loving themselves. They think they're looking for being good. And once you're good, you get love. Wrong.
Yeah. I also have a lot of issues with dogmatic religion text and everything, because it's like a game of telephone that's been, this is the way, and then people cherry pick it so much, and it's so frustrating,
Yes.
like you were talking about with no judgment, like they oh my God, this happens so much in Christianity where Jesus said this and Jesus did this, and it's like so much judgment. But I'm like, the people that he had as followers, it was the people that we all scoff at every day.
Yeah, he totally would be hanging out with drag queens. Let's be clear.
Right.
Yeah. Oh, totally. Yeah. Yeah.
Hella kicking it with drag queens. Let's be real clear on that shit.
Yeah. Jesus would say gay.
Yeah, right. I heard this thing about, speaking of the don't say gay thing, I heard this thing. Oh, fuck this. Never mind. I can't even get into it. I was going to go.
It's a whole other rage topic.
I fucking can't. I can't even handle it. Anyway, so I have to urinate. So I'm going to go pee. You guys can chit chat.
This is a common occurrence in the podcast, a pee or poo break, because I actually have to do the same thing. Sorry, Marcus. Just sit here alone in your car for just a sec. Don't go offline, though. We'll be right back.
All right. Right on. I'm alone in my car. talking about spirituality. Charging up my phone. Cassidy and Katie are taking a piss. Do, 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 do.
What's up? Rami's. How do you start this thing? It's Rami. Why did I decide to record right now? It's like 6 a.m. and I got up to pee. I got out of the Italian hospital yesterday afternoon. And it was, yesterday was the full moon in Scorpio with the eclipse. And while I was in the hospital, I was like, well, let me write in my journal things I want to release for the full moon. I never do that, but I had absolutely no distractions at this point. So it forced me into a position of actual reflection. So I was writing things I wanted to release, shame, feeling like a bad person. And of course, I just released my appendix. And then I had this fantasy that, what if like my shame, that used to exist in different parts of my body or whatever, what if I had localized it recently to my appendix? And so I was walking around with my appendix carrying all of my shame. And then I went and flew across the ocean and had it surgically taken out of my body, and then sewn up. And then I returned to back across the ocean to where I live. And that way, and I left my appendix not only surgically removed from me, but surgically removed from me across the globe so that it couldn't find its way back to my apartment. And that was funny to me. It made me feel like a Murakami novel or something. Of course, if it was a Murakami novel, probably then a cat would eat it or something. Wow, I have no business recording right now. It's Rami's rules.
Sweet, I beat Katie back. That's all that matters in my life. To defeat Katie occasionally.
All right, let's do that first. Actually, you know what I want to do just to show off a little? Let's open Marcus's records and that guy. So can you give me his name, Cass?
Yes, and this will be beeped. Here we go. The person's name is, but not, because that's my godfather.
Okay, cool. All right, let's hop in there and do that. Okay. You don't have to do anything in particular, Marcus, but it would be great if you just breathed, closed your eyes, and just felt into the things I'm going to describe as I drop into your records, just for the sake of the meditative practice of it. In other words, when you soften and relax and ground, it helps me read you more clearly. So nothing I'm doing here can hurt you. I can't change anything about you you don't want changed. I can't mess with you in any way. All I can do is what the divine wants to do for you or through you and what you agree to. Does that make sense? Okay, cool. So we'll close our eyes. And we'll all just take a couple deep breaths into the low belly. Actually, Cass, I'm going to open your records too.
Great.
And I have a feeling you're going to benefit from some of the stuff that comes up for everybody here. All right, so as we relax the body into whatever chair you're in. Just allow the shoulders to drop a little lower and the heart to soften open just a bit. And the spine to loosen, soften, and open. And we'll feel our feet flat on the ground. And we'll imagine a little spinning foot chakra, like a hurricane or a tornado of light spinning open at the bottom center of each foot. A little tornado of light spinning and spinning at the bottom center of each foot, getting wider and wider until the entire surface area of the bottom of each foot is like an open window, an open plane of energy. And we'll just agree to believe or just acknowledge the idea that these open windows at the bottoms of the feet allow us to connect energetically with the earth. We're just choosing to trust that that is the case. And as we connect more intimately with the earth, we're going to imagine that extending through the open window of each foot are 500 tree roots made of light. So pure white light tree roots extending from the tree of consciousness that is you down into the earth through your left foot. Hundreds of miles down and into the earth. And 500 tree roots of light extending into the earth through the open window of your right foot. Hundreds of miles down and in and down and in and down and in. So that in total, we have 1,000 tree roots of light anchoring our light body to the light body of this planet. Another way to say that is the consciousness of you to the consciousness of the earth. And as those roots anchor down, I'd like you to imagine that you, from your feet up, are a huge conscious tree of light. Metaphorically, you're a tree. Your roots are anchored into the earth, and the trunk of the tree of you begins to expand left and right and forward and back and upwards into the cosmos. So your body remains where it is, but the consciousness of you expands as the tree trunk of you goes left and right, forward and back, and up. The tree of conscious awareness that metaphorically is the energetic awareness and connection of you to the all that is expanding now, getting taller, wider, and deeper, until it's so wide and so deep and so tall that you can't even see its edges anymore. But you do feel it continuing to expand in every direction. Lastly, we're going to see, visualize, imagine, allow there to be thousands of tree branches, millions of tree leaves at the top of this tree in a place we can't even see, but we're just aware that these branches are there and these leaves are there, extending into the cosmos, the universe, the ether of consciousness itself. And so we do acknowledge the forces of light. Asking for guidance, direction, and courage to know the truth as it is revealed for our highest good and the highest good of everyone connected to us. Holy Spirit of God, protect me, please, from all forms of self-centeredness and direct my attention to the work at hand. Amen. Help me to know Cassidy Jamal Brown, Marcus Crespo, in the light of the Akashic Records. Help me to see Marcus Crespo, Cassidy Jamal Brown through the eyes of the Lords of the Records, and enable me, please, to share the wisdom and compassion that the masters, teachers, and loved ones of Marcus Crespo and Cassidy Jamal Brown have for all three of them. And I'll go quiet for just a moment. You can just breathe into your heart and into those roots. Okay, so first things first. Okay, so I'd like to, so I'm just going to check in with the Akashic Records of, we're just asking, first of all, so can we connect with his soul and essence? Yes. Okay. Ooh, okay. We're just kind of checking in here on the spiritual realm, wondering if you'd be willing to like become aware of your PayPal. Well, first of all, can we chat with you? Yes. Okay. Could you become aware of your PayPal account? My friend here, Cassidy Brown, has accidentally sent you money that was meant to be sent to someone else. Oh, give me a second. Oh my God. Yeah, and we could use, if you're up for it, if you're willing, if it feels okay for you to just notice that this has occurred and send this money back to him. Okay, this is a big, strong yes. Okay, give me 1 second. There's a ton of energy moving. What's happening for you, Cassidy?
I'm not feeling anything, but I definitely saw like a person sitting in a chair in my head, in my mind's eye, like going, oh.
Okay, well, you know how before I was like, maybe he's dead, maybe he doesn't have a PayPal account. That's not correct. He definitely is alive and has a PayPal account that works. So Lord's Master and Teacher of the Records, Divine Love, God itself, and conscious awareness. Can we facilitate seeing his PayPal returning the funds? Yes. By when can Cassidy expect that to occur? They're moving some energy that's facilitating this, so just give it a minute. Okay, so Cass, they're going to talk for a second here. So this is the actual function of a Mercury retrograde. Retrogrades happen to slow you down, to force you to pay attention to the details, to force you to choose carefully, to move slowly. So when you go hastily, a retrograde is here to smack you on the side of the head and say, listen, hasty doesn't work. Stop it. This is what happens when you're hasty. It's a deep way that the universe has built in. It's like a fail-safe system for the universe to get human beings to commit to their spiritual alignment. In other words, Katie was just walking to the bathroom just now and she thought to herself, oh, if God is actually in charge, or the universe, let's say the universe and consciousness are in charge, which she's constantly resurrendering to because she's a control freak and we know this. If the universe is in charge, okay, then she doesn't have to make the airplane tickets to California happen. She doesn't have to make it happen faster than it's happening. She doesn't have to make Mercury retrograde end faster. And she had a moment of surrender on the way to urinate. You're welcome, Katie. And the surrender came in the form of a sense of peace. Like, I'll get to California when I'm meant to get to California. The money will be there when the money is there. Oh, okay, I'm back at peace again. I get to feel this love for this person on the other side of the country and wait, because all things are happening truly in divine timing. All things for all people all the time are happening in divine timing, whether you're doing your alignment work or not. And that's a very deep, difficult thing for people to understand. So back to here. Why? People say, why did this happen? You say, oh, the reason it happened is I'm stupid. That was your reason this time, Cassidy. Oh, I'm stupid.
Mm-hmm.
No, you just moved too quickly.
Yeah, that's 100% true. There's no question that I was moving too quickly. I feel that deeply.
Cool. And understand that from the divine's perspective, it loves you completely. You're lovable completely. You're never stupid. You just move too quickly. Now we learn, oh, moving too quickly pulls me out of spiritual alignment. That's when things get bumpy in the road. Bumpy in the road isn't even bad. It's just a momentary bump that will get smoothed out. And by the way, this will get smoothed out for you. This will get corrected, whether it's through the bank, PayPal, or the person. I think it's going to be the person and PayPal. It's going to get smoothed out.
I trust that.
So now I'm asking consciousness. Cool. So now I'm asking consciousness, right? Any other energies that need to be moved here? Cass, do you have any other questions on this?
No, I think I need to encourage myself to let go of it. I believe and allow it to occur because I'm, wanting to check my phone every 5 minutes and that's dumb. No need. It's going to take a little time, like 24 hours. That's what my sense is. We just lost Marcus, but we'll probably get him back.
Oh, no.
Just this second, lost him. Just this second. He froze up and then froze for a while and then vanished. So hopefully he'll be back.
Okay, here's a slight reframe for you. Would you be willing to feel into the place in yourself where you feel a compulsion to do something about it?
Yes.
A compulsion to check okay. Feel into that. Show me or tell me when you're feeling it and where it is in your body.
Sort of base in my throat and my chest.
Yeah. Okay, good. Sink, if you could, right into the deepest, tightest, worst part of the throat aspect of that. Okay, so what's happening in the throat now?
My awareness went to my lower jaw again, which seems to be...
Good. And what's happening in there?
For a second, it kind of felt like there was like cement or quicksand or something gross.
Uh-huh.
Sort of oozing out of my mouth.
Okay, and what?
Along the lower jaw.
And what's happening now?
Nothing per se that I can describe. That stopped. Yeah.
Uh-huh. So I'd like you to think now, Cassidy. We're doing a little energy healing for Cassidy now, Marcus, and we'll get right to you in 1 second. Glad you're back. Cassidy, I want you to imagine, so think about, oh, I have to check my phone. I have to do something. I have to make it happen. Think about that for a second.
Uh-huh.
And then notice what comes up in your body, any places of urgency, compulsion, tightness. I got to do it. Fear, anxiety. Tell me where those are, if there are any.
There's little tiny ones just literally in my forehead, in my head, in my brain space. I can look at them. I'm seeing them. Like, hey, how's it going? You're cute.
Nice. Okay, great. Because so how it works for me is when you feel into what's in the way of having actual peace on a topic, I feel the place where there isn't peace, and it's very light. So there isn't any. So that's great.
They're just thoughts now.
Here was the point they're trying to make. This is for everybody listening. Remember, we're always looking at what is healing? What is consciousness? What does it all mean? In this case, Cassidy was saying, this is a teaching moment, so I'm taking the opportunity, okay? This is for you, but also for everyone listening, Cass. I'm still feeling the need to do something about it. And then he was saying, I should coach myself. I know that what I should do is let it go. But if I were to then have not said anything after that and not done the energy healing, you would not have been able to let it go. You would have been coaching yourself all day. Just let it go. Check the phone. Just let it go. Check the phone. Just let it go. Check the phone. That's what humans are doing all the time. I should be able to fill in the blank because with my mind, I know that's the thing to do, but you fucking can't until you change the energy of the compulsion in the body. That's what I'm constantly preaching. So we did that for you just now, which actually made you feel lighter. So now you'll probably check your phone, but you'll feel pretty light about it. It'll be easier to let it go. Now you'll be able to be like, let me distract myself, or let me call the bank and do my due diligence, but from a calmer place of centeredness and peace. So notice, listener, it doesn't mean he just totally lets it go forever and doesn't do anything about it. No, he still has to do what he has to do, but he's going to have more peace and less compulsion as he goes about his business. And that was the point.
Which means I won't yell at the person at PayPal for being unreasonable.
Hopefully, we'll see.
I didn't yell, but I was pretty insistent and pretty cranky.
I hear you. Okay, awesome. We did that. I'm going to actually close his name's records. Right. Thank you for having here. I want to thank the masters, teachers, and loved ones for their love and compassion, the lords of the records for their point of view, the Holy Spirit of life, all knowledge. And I see return to himself now. I see you return all energy to him. I ask that you return him to his complete human wholeness. The divine portal and the Akashic records are now closed. Amen, amen, amen. I really wanted to do that because his energy was not my fucking favorite. So thank you for your patience.
Just some random dude.
Yes.
Yeah, sorry.
It's all right. We're back to Marcus. Marcus Crespo. Sorry you got knocked off. Are you okay? What's going on? Feel free to unmute. I muted you because I'm a bad, bad person. All right. So we're in your records. What would you like to bring into the process here today?
You mentioned past life. And I kind of want to tap into that.
Okay. What do you want to know?
Okay. So one of the things that I used to have, and occasionally it will come up, is like a recurring dream that's so lucid, and I can feel it. Like I can see it and almost feel what I'm visualizing. And it's happened a lot, and I want to know if there's any connection to that.
What do you mean by connection to that?
Okay, so I had this very recurring dream that's spanned years and years, and it's me trudging through a dark, mud-filled, water-filled tunnel, and it evokes it evokes panic, and it evokes like a claustrophobic feeling. And then basically in the dream, I'm a soldier who's trying to get through this tunnel for some reason. And that is literally...
Keep going.
He's gone again. Damn it.
Oh, fucking hell.
Balls. So also remember that it's
Retrograde.
And
Good
have
call.
patience with ourselves.
You're right. I'm going to mute you for 2 seconds, Cass. We can cut this out. He says, something happened during meditation and it zapped my phone and my phone is overheating.
Oh my God.
I'm going to type, I hear you. That happens. The energy is strong. Also, there might be forces that like don't. Also, there are forces aware of us about to clear them that do not want to let go. So they fuck with your phone. Keep trying. May the force be with you. I'm trying to get him to memo me. He said, something is trying very hard to intervene. I said, yes.
You could at least, you guys could call each other on your phones and just have the line open.
Oh, yeah. Let me try that. Oh, yeah. Telephones.
What? What are those?
It's, you know how he is in my phone? Marcus fucking Crespo. Let's see if this works. Can you hear this? You can't hear that?
No, it's a sound that is being suppressed by...
Hello?
Hey, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. It won't let me send memos now. I don't know what's happening.
Okay, good. We're going to do it this way. You ready?
Okay. All right. Yes.
Okay, because we can hear you and we're recording and all is fine.
Okay, cool.
All right. So you were saying you have this recurring dream. You're crawling through mud in some kind of tunnel and you're a soldier. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay. And then you're wondering, is that a past life? Is that right?
Yeah. I mean, it's happened for over a decade or so.
Wow.
Like since I was, yeah.
Okay. And does it still happen?
Not with the frequency it used to. There was a point in time where literally, I would say in a month span or almost nightly.
Wow. Okay, cool. So you ready to clear it?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So first of all, we're talking to consciousness now. We're calling up into conscious awareness the past life energy Marcus Crespo is still carrying that causes or necessitates or creates this dream, this repetitive dream about being a soldier, slogging through mud. Feel into the back of your head, if you could, just for a moment. And the back of your neck. And the whole spinal column. Any and all karma, all the past life energy from that life, we asked Allah. We asked that it be brought to present time now and that the karma be completed now. All the energy from the past life where he either was a soldier or was he a soldier? Yes. Okay. And he was crawling through mud? Yes. We're asking that all be brought to present time now. All the karma, all the oaths, vows, fealties, communities, swearings, promises, commitments, bindings, bondings, blood oaths, signs sworn, committed to or not. Across all time, dimension, space, reality. Any curses or spells from that time. Anything creating the repeat of that dream in Marcus's present day. Feel into your heart now, if you could. Okay, so first of all, truth, conscious awareness. Did we clear everything from that past life for Marcus? Yes. Did we clear all the karma from that past life? Yes. Is there anything else that we could clear that would facilitate the dream not happening anymore? No. Is that completely clear now? Yes. All right. So this is an interesting one, Marcus, because in this case, it was a past life where not only did you suffer trauma, the trauma of being a soldier, but unfortunately, the soldiery stuff you were doing created some trauma and some karma for other people, which, by the way, everyone you've ever met on Earth has past lives. Okay, not everyone, but 99% of people have past lives where they've caused trauma and harm. So this is not unique to you. You're not a bad guy. This is just what people do until we stop doing it. So there was both karma and trauma and past life stuckness, sort of on both sides here. So all of it's been cleared. I don't expect you to have that dream anymore. Also, this should have a positive impact in your waking life on some level. You might notice being lighter or freer or having an easier time around something that you've always had a hard time around or always felt anxious about or tight about, something to do with anxiety, something to do with fear, insecurity, feeling trapped, panicking, choking, anything like that. You're going to be lighter around in your waking life. Any thoughts, questions, curiosities about that?
No, that makes, honestly, it's weird. I'm connecting that to a lot of things that I carry in my normal life that kind of makes sense now. When you were talking about the past life, but then the trauma that's attached to it, I don't know, like it feels like I've always had this overwhelming amount of guilt, feeling like I'm carrying guilt that was beyond what I was guilty for here in my reality.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, that makes sense. That's a common one. And how does that guilt feel to you now when you feel into it?
I don't really feel it. I don't really feel guilt. And like my thing is now, like when I think about things in my current reality where I felt guilty, I approach it with a little more understanding of who I was at that time when I did those things.
Right. I think I'm speaking though to like the floating abstract guilt that you just named, where you're like, I just always feel guilty.
Yeah.
How does that feel? Try to find that inside your heart or your mind or your body.
I don't feel it.
Okay, cool. Well, you and I can stay in touch and see how it goes over time and what continues to unfold with that or not. We have 8 minutes left. Do you have anything else you'd like to ask? Please feel free. This is your time.
Wow. That was intense.
Tell me why, in what sense?
Oh man. It was the visualization of everything you were describing to get into that place was so vivid. It was unbelievable. It felt like a movie. Yeah, like in Avatar when they go to, I don't know if you've seen Avatar.
Yeah.
When they go to the planet and like all the plants and stuff are lighting up. That's what it fucking felt like. It was insane.
Cool.
Yeah, and then there was a heaviness though that I don't have now. It was right before my phone and everything with the fucking shit. But like, It literally felt like like someone threw something heavy at me, and there was like, hold this, and wow.
Mm-hmm. And then what happened to that? Where is it now?
Well, I don't feel it. I had to get out of that mindset because of my phone with the shit and everything. But I don't feel it. I feel so much lighter. Wow.
Very cool. Awesome. Well, let's stay in touch over time about that. But since we have a few minutes, what else do you want to ask? If anything.
I don't know. I guess I have some reservations about like, what am I doing career-wise, and why? Like, should I continue doing this?
Okay. Can you be more specific?
Well, because so we had talked about how I wanted to be a filmmaker, and then all this stuff happened where that went to the wayside, and now I'm doing all this comedy and entertainment and stuff. I love it and it's fun and I want to keep pursuing it, but then at the same time I'm like, I have these weird feelings of like, do I want to do something else? 15 years in, do I want to do something else?
And what would the something else be?
I always feel like it should be something beneficial to not just myself and my well-being, but like something helpful to people in general.
Yeah. Well, you read my mind, or I read your mind, or you're hearing consciousness, or I'm hearing consciousness, because that's, I think you and I have talked about this before, but Pisces, you have strong Pisces placement. I forget, is it Pisces sun or Pisces moon?
I want to say moon. I don't recall exactly.
When's your birthday? Okay, so you're Pisces sun, which means you will serve or suffer. You will serve or suffer. The Pisces is here to give and to serve and to contribute in a way that feels, or I should say, in a way that works in your case. So that's the piece missing from your life right now. There's no professional service industry you're in. And it's like they're bringing me back to the conversation you and I had a lot of months ago about massage or body work. Do you remember that?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Something in that realm would be great. And you can think of it as you're not giving entirely up the comedy. You're just also doing this thing. Doing service work for people that immediately is about them benefiting from you doing what you're doing, right? Direct service work, they benefit in the now from what you do. And by the way, they're also like, it has to be something where you get to care about the people from your heart and just generously, lovingly give the people something they need that has nothing to do with what you want, except that you will want to give them the care because of what a caring person you are. You're going to want to give them the care. That's good. Point is, massage or something like that, whatever feels right to you, would be a really great steadying income source for you that would also scratch that itch that you have to do something more meaningful, where you get a sense of purpose in a different way than you get from doing what you're doing now. And they're very insistent with me that it's both. You're not going to give up your creativity. And in fact, we would encourage you to pursue higher forms of it, like go bigger. You stop with the small nonsense you're doing. Go bigger. They're like, anything that wastes your time, don't do it. But also the steadying. In other words, if you had income coming in from a couple massage clients a day or a week or whatever you choose to do, that would be no more door dashing. And that would be no more, you could just do a lot less for a lot more money. Plus, you would feel very satisfied by the service aspect of it. Plus, you'd be helping people in a way that would be spiritually meaningful for you. Door dashing, because you are who you are, already has some spiritual meaning for you because you're a spiritual meaning guy, whether you identify as such or not. You can put care and meaning into anything because of who you are and how you see the world. But it's a little bit more of an empty, soulless endeavor than making people's bodies feel better would be.
Yeah.
They also show it to me like you could also choose like to be a nurse or a physician's assistant or something like that too. Like you could do anything in the helping people realm, whichever thing feels good and calls to you. You don't have to think of it though as I'm giving up comedy or creativity in order to do this. You think of it as I'm choosing to support myself with something more nourishing, and I'm choosing to give to people. There was a teacher I had once who said, oh, we have 2 minutes, who said, you get paid more money when the thing you're doing for work gives more to the people. Like the more you give of yourself in the work, the more they pay you. Now, of course, that doesn't mean just go pick any random giving thing. It has to nourish you. It has to feel good. Okay.
Yeah.
But the point is, when you think about what am I really giving humanity when I pick up their pizza and deliver it to them? In a way, you could say you're enabling them in certain cases. In other cases, you're giving them the gift of rest so they can stay home. That's a nice little gift. But is it more of a gift to like heal their body?
Yeah.
So that's that. Amen. All right, I got to close your records. I want to thank the masters, teachers, and loved ones for their love and compassion, the lords of the records for their point of view, and the Holy Spirit of light for all knowledge and healing. I ask that you return Cassidy, Jamal Brown, and Marcus Crespo to their complete human wholeness now. I ask that you return them both, all their energy to themselves. The divine portal and the Akashic records of Cassidy, Jamal Brown, and Marcus Crespo are now closed. Amen. The divine portal and the Akashic records of Cassidy, Jamal Brown, and Marcus Crespo are now closed. Amen. The divine portal and the Akashic records of Cassidy, Jamal Brown, and Marcus Crespo are now closed. Amen, amen, amen. Shadawan la ilaha illallah, shadawan Muhammad abduhu wa rasuluhu. baby. Marcus, I love you so much. Thank you for coming on with us. I'm going to rush off quickly because I'm late, but we say to our audience at the end every time, do your work. I love you, Cass.
I love you, Katie. Great to meet you, Marcus. I'm going to go watch some of your, if I can find some of your comedy online, I'm going to watch some.
Marcus, I'll be in touch later today. Thank you for being with us.
Do your damn work.
Do your work. Bye.
Bye.
You asking for all of the answers? Say what? All of the answers? Yeah, all the answers.
Hey guys, thanks for listening. We'd love to hear from you. Please email us with your questions so that we have questions to answer in the Akashic Records. Our email address is allanswerspod@gmail.com. That's allanswerspod@gmail.com. And if you'd like to find us on Facebook or Twitter, it's @allanswerspod, @allanswerspod. Thank you.
Now I'm fucking with you.
Mixed and edited by Desmond McNeese for We Mixed It, LLC. Go to whatsoundsawesome.com.